Hey guys, Kelade here. Welcome to my Mythic Stormwall Blockade kill/commentary video. For this fight, we are going to be in a left boat. We're just going to be charging with all of our cooldowns. So as far as for the buffs that you want to track or the mechanics you want to track, it's the sea swells that you really want to take care of and make sure you're paying attention to it. So I have one in my upper left of my character. You can see it's at 7 seconds. So whenever that happens, you want to make sure you stack with the group, right? You drop it in a similar area and then you're good to go. As far as for the voltaics, the line voltaic is probably the most dangerous one. So if you guys do need a commanding shout there, that's probably the best place to use it. And then the lightning that you guys see the paladin drop off there in the left, you just want to make sure you get that as far away from the group as possible because it does damage and silences based on distance. So for the storm empowerment, we're not going to kick it until both adds at around 50%. Just so we do less mechanics, right? Because when they're doing this storm empowerment, they're doing less mechanics, right? Basically, only the sea swells go out, right? None of the other stuff happens. So you just want to let the ads channel as long as you can. Now, this fight has been buffed every single week that we've done this. So hopefully Blizzard doesn't change it more because your strategies might have to change. When this thing first came out in the first week, you literally just burn the ads. You just let the ads channel the entire time and you just burn them down before they got the boss's energy to 100. But now they've made them, channel faster and all that stuff. Basically, you do have to do both bosses essentially, at least for a couple mechanics, right? Like we're only going to get, 2 of the sea storms, whatever, and we'll get 1 temptation. And then once the boss channels the thing again, we just let it channel all the way until we kill it. So when the siren comes out right here, just make sure it's not on you first, right? If it's not on you, just try help them with a little DPS. Unfortunately, there's too much sea swell there, so I got some abilities in, but just make sure you help. In case your group just doesn't have that much range, you want to make sure that you kill those because 1, the faster you kill those, the faster that the mind control guy is going to be able to help DPS, and 2, if you take too long, they're going to get kicked off the boat, and you don't want that, right? So right here, we're just DPSing these guys down. Now, if they are going to hit, so we're at what, 78 energy right now. If they are going to hit like 90 energy, you just kick them anyways, and you just kill them right away, right afterwards. So sea swells, just make sure we try to stand in a previous area, so it's a nicer clump. Now the transporter, when it turns purple / pink like that, that's when you take it, and then you just come over here and you're in phase 2. So the sea swells on the ground, like when they're actually on the ground, they don't do that much damage. So worst comes to worst, if you guys are running out of the room to fight, before the next sea swells comes out, you just step in the previous one, make the same puddle there. As far as for the start of phase 2, we are all going to be right here around in the middle. And then once the first sea swell comes out, we're all going to be moving, as far as melee is concerned, to the upper left. And then range is going to be in the back left. Depending on how many melee and how many range you have in this fight and kind of what the split DPS is like if your range can kill every single ad, very easily without melee helping, a lot of times melee just literally, this is it. Like you're just hitting the boss. Whenever sea swell comes up, like right now, you're going to move a step to the right, go back to stack up, and that's it. That's all you have to do as melee on this fight. Now, if you are lacking a little bit of range damage, you probably are going to help out with ads. But the key point is right here, the boss is at 90 energy and it should never go up, right? The big ads should be dropped way in the back and your range is going to be cleaving them down. And then of course the sirens, I just help out because I can cleave the sirens and the boss and it's free DPS and it helps out the raid, right? To kill those guys killed as fast as possible. So just make sure that you are getting back to the melee stack if you're helping with the sirens, right? Just keep track of your weak aura or whatever timers that you have for the sea swells. Make sure you get back. Just walk over there, throw a little dragon roar on that ad. Just make sure that it doesn't reach the boss. And as far as for the voltaics that are happening, so I think you'll see in the next voltaic, melee can actually walk forward just a little bit, like more on the ledge, and you won't get hit by the voltaic. Also, if you notice earlier in the fight, when we stayed on the upper, left little ledge thing, you also don't get hit by a voltaic. So take advantage of that if you can. Just make sure you don't go too far because you can totally walk off the platform. Like there's no barrier in the front, so you can just walk off the front. So execute that siren a little bit. If you can ever get the opportunity to execute them, you should, right? Always the DPS increase to be able to execute as many times as you can in the fight. And then as far as for soaking that mechanic that damages you, knocks you back, our off tank is just doing it. So I don't know what strategies other people are doing, but we are using 2 tanks and one of them just soaks all of that. So we're going to drop our last sea swells here, and then we're going to eventually go back to like the left side, right? Just make sure that you guys are clearing the space fast enough and getting there. But I am probably going to be helping. Yeah, I'm going to helping out with this tempting siren. It's especially if it's in melee range, right? Like I'm cleaving the boss at the same time. So if the siren is here, you should definitely hit it. This boss has a huge melee range, so definitely take advantage. And of course, I'm going to be leaping back in the group just to make sure that my sea swells are with them. Now, if you know that you're going to get hit by a voltaic like I did right there, you know, just pop in range regen. If you're full HP, it's okay. Like, you're not going to get killed by a voltaic at full HP. The most dangerous thing about voltaics is obviously if you're not full HP, or if somehow you're trying to dodge one and you get hit by a second one. That's probably where the place you're going to get killed by the most by voltaics is if you're trying to dodge one, you miss the dodge, and you get hit by a second one. That's like the worst that could happen. As far as for talents, didn't talk about that yet for this fight. Same talents as basically every other fight, right? Endless Rage, Double Time, Sudden Death, Warpaint, Carnage, Dragon Roar, and Siegebreaker. So right here, we run out of room for, you know, any of the front area for melee to stand in. But like I said, this boss has a humongous melee range, so don't worry about that. So I'm just gonna wait here a little bit for the tank to soak that, and then I'll group up with the rest of the melee stack over here. And then at this point, I think the call out is just to burn the boss as fast as you can. There becomes a point, even if there's ads back there, as long as you have like a frost mage slowing and all that stuff, you can just focus already on the boss, because you're gonna kill the boss before the ad gets there. And even when the ad does get there and channels the boss to 100 energy, the boss does like a cast, right? But you do also still want to kill the Tempting Sirens though, because they are going to be mind controlling people, which makes them do no DPS, and then they're going to kill them. So you still want to kill those as much as you can, but at this point, you don't have to kill the bigger ads anymore. Luckily, that lock was able to port back right before you die there, so that's good. I'm just standing here. I'm just going to pop a Hellstone here, because I know that the voltaics, that's basically the last voltaic. Unfortunately, our tanking the boss dies right there. So I had the next threat, so then the boss meleeed me a couple times and I died, but that's it for the kill. And as always, thanks for checking out the video, guys. Feel free to subscribe to see more. See ya.